When did you become an artist?
Well, this is interesting. As I began my career as a comedian and I would begin to be interviewed, that was a sign that, boy, things are happening, someone's interviewing me. I would always make a point of saying I write my own material because I was proud of it, and I knew that a lot of comedians didn't, and I knew that even some comedians whom we think write their own material don't. So I was always putting that in the interview, in my answers somewhere. And so I was a comedian who wrote his own material. Over the years, as I stayed out on the road, and by the way, the IRS was a wonderful partner because a really protracted difficulty that Mr. Hamza helped get me out of, and we weathered it together, a protracted difficulty when taxes were still 70 cents on the dollar, and it was full, and they disallowed some things from previous years is what it was. They disallowed some things, and penalty and interest mounted up, and then I started getting heart attacks, not because of that, but I'd have heart disease. Started getting heart attacks, and I had to take time off, and oh my God. So I had to stay out on the road. And I wanted to do another HBO show. That was a payday. That's a good payday. So I'd stay out on the road, and I had to have new material. I demanded it of myself, but I knew that it was only right for them, and it would make me, better in their eyes. So it was a self-interest to keep writing more material, and by doing that, I became more and more and more of a writer. Not a really great writer by any means, but I can handle the language better than I ever had before. And as I became the writer, and I began to notice that what I was really doing was I was a writer. There was a point when I said, wait a minute, I'm writing. I'm a writer. I started doing the books, and I thought I write for two destinations. I write for books, and I write for my stage shows. That's all. HBO is just a way of taking pictures of things and sending them to your house.
This was a revelation that you were a writer?
It was a revelation that I was more of a writer than a performer. And I started describing myself as a writer who performs his own material. And that was a way of confirming it to myself and cementing the idea, because the weight had shifted. The weight had shifted. Yeah, of course, I technically was writing before that, but it was kind of a formal. You see, I quit high school in ninth grade. I quit school in ninth grade. And if you have a decent mind and you quit school like that, it seems as though you have a lifelong need to prove you're smart to yourself and to them. Even though if they don't know, they don't care, they just want to, But this job is all about ain't I smart? Ain't I smart, ain't I cute, ain't I clever? And so that drove me. That drove me to write as well, just to use these tools that I had that were never formalized, were never completely trained. So.